Dear delegates, may I have your attention, please? We will be starting with the closing ceremony in another few minutes. I request you to please calm down and stay at your seats. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chief Guest, respected judges, distinguished delegates, teachers and students. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to the closing ceremony of this year's MRResilience 2024.
Over these couple of days, we have seen debates, discussions, and resolutions on global issues, showcasing the incredible intellect and passion of every delegate present here. But today we have gathered here to celebrate all that you have achieved. I shall now request Angel McCall, Director General, MRResilience 2024, to kindly come over and say a few words.
Greetings, everyone. It feels absolutely surreal to be standing here today. What felt like a dream not so long ago has now turned into a beautiful reality, and truly, I couldn't be more happy. I started my MUN journey in grade 6, and ever since then, there's been no looking back. MUNs have always played a very important part in my life. They have taught me things I never knew I needed to learn. They have taught me various aspects of life. It has always helped me grow into a bigger, better, and a bolder person. My MUN journey is that part of my school life that I shall cherish forever. And my journey would have been incomplete without a few people. Shreyas, thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for always being my biggest supporter. Thank you for listening to me and always advising me. You, sir, are a gem of a person. When I think about my MUN journey, I can't help but thank that one person enough who has been there since the start. Netik, thank you, my MUN buddy. Thank you for always being there, even when we used to fight like crazy. For the past 3 months, each one of us, all 30 people in the OC, we have went through a lot. We have went through struggles, we have went through hardships, we have went through difficulties. But something that I'm proud of most is that none of us gave up. We always prioritized work, and for that, I can proudly say that you are looking at the best OC in town. We have worked our best and we have tried our level best to make sure that each one of you is at comfort and at ease. And I hope that you are. The best part about the MUN was that even when crying or fighting or laughing or even playing games or screaming, dancing, anything that we did, we never forgot that what we actually had to do was make MRResilience 4.0 the biggest success ever. My journey would have been incomplete without the support of a few other people, and that is my dear teachers, Joyita ma'am and Abha ma'am. Your presence, your constant support, and your love has always meant the world to us. Thank you so much. And Varsha ma'am, where do I even start? Hadn't you been our side, we would have never been this successful. We know that we have troubled you the most. We have always come, we used to barge into your room saying random things and just requesting the weirdest things, but you have always been there for us. We wouldn't have been as happy and as proud as we are today. You, ma'am, are our savior. Thank you so much. Lastly, I'd like to thank all the delegates. Your constant love and support has always helped us get through and has always reminded us that there's always a vision that we have to look at. And I thank you all for being here today. With that, I, Angel McCall, the Director General of the MRResilience 4.0, hence signing off.
Thank you, Angel. Words are powerful motivators and have the ability to transform the history of a nation and bring transition in the perception and mindset of people. I take this privilege to request our revered Principal Ma'am to kindle the fire of change in the young delegates by her precious words of wisdom.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome our chief guest today, Mr. Satoshi Sasaki from the ILO, Mr. Ranjan Chatterjee, a renowned IS officer from the Indian government who has held many important portfolios. And I felt that these two people could be your role models because the field that you stand in today in your MUN opens up vistas for you in the domain that they have worked in. I have always felt that MUN in our school is a fest of the children, for the children, and by the children. I've been telling our guests that we take a backstage and our children lead us. The arena is open to them. The vistas are wide and vast for them to explore. In these last 48 hours that you have had discussions, negotiations, collaborations in your 11 respective committees, I'm sure there has been a huge learning. And we call our school Vidyantriksh a playfield of education, and that is a playfield for you to learn, to experiment, to explore before you step out into the world. And that is what we mean to do. And I'm also very proud of the fact that our children at Manav Rachna hone the best of what their mentors imbibe in them. There is an underlying feeling of care and commitment in each one of them. And all the guests here today, 450 guests from different schools, I'm sure you're carrying this thought with you, you're carrying this emotion and feeling with you. And I look forward to the next year when you'll be back here with a bang. And I'm sure that resilience has now become a brand in Faridabad and in Delhi NCR. And all of you, why to be here? I'm sure more than a fest, it has added a lot of value to you. And I look forward to your experiences as something that we would cherish too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words of encouragement has and will always spur them into untiring productive actions impacting the social and national fabric to it.
Now it is time to invite the esteemed chief guest of the day, Satoshi Sasaki-san, Officer in Charge, International Labour Organization, Decent Work Team for South Asia and Country Office India. He has been an inspiration for many with his tremendous contribution to the Office of International Labour Law for more than 25 years. He has done extensive work in sustainable enterprise development, entrepreneurship, and crisis response. He has developed job creation strategies for laid-off workers in China and led youth employment programs and livelihood recovery efforts in the Pacific Islands. Currently, he manages the Decent Work Country program, DWCP, in India, focusing on labor standards, inclusive employment, and social justice. Moreover, he has worked across Asia and the Pacific, including countries like Japan, China, Thailand, and the Solomon Islands. We welcome you, sir, and are eager to hear from you. Let's hear a huge round of applause as we welcome him on stage.
Good afternoon to all the bright young students gathering here. It is my pleasure to be here today to address, after observing you participate in debates with great enthusiasm during this Model United Nations conference that is shaping the world around us. I understand I stand here as a representative of ILO, or the International Labour Organization, which is the United Nations agency for the world of work. The ILO was founded over 100 years in 1919. right after the First World War. As nations agreed that universal and lasting peace was necessary, and the way to achieve it was through social justice. So what is social justice, and how do we ensure it? Work is an indispensable part of our lives. It gives us the basis for our living while contributing to our dignity, well-being, and development as human beings. The work we do should meet some minimum criteria like stipulated hours of work, time off for rest and recuperation, safe working environments that are free from forced labor, violence, and harassment, and a guarantee of pay that enables us to lead comfortable life. These conditions being met is termed as decent work, which is at the heart of social justice. So, in essence, social justice is those set of conditions that enables all women and men to lead their lives with dignity while socially integrating them with their communities at large. While social justice is at the heart of the ILO's mandate, it is also the goal of the United Nations champions as a collective. The UN itself has evolved since its inception to keep pace with the challenges of the world. Yet, it has stayed the same in one aspect, providing a platform for nations to come together to find solutions about benefit all of humanities. This is demonstrated in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are part of the 2030 agenda that intersect with one another, demonstrating that no goal is loftier than the other, and all goals need to be met to ensure the collaborative prosperity of the global community. The ILO champions goal number 8, decent work and economic growth, which encompasses increasing employment opportunities for young people, reducing informal employment, promoting safe and secure working environments, and improving access to financial services to ensure sustained and inclusive economic growth. Sustained and inclusive economic growth is paramount for driving progress, creating decent and productive employment, and improving living standards for all. The United Nations system, while seemingly a behemoth or giant, but it is comprised of many different funds, programs, and specialized agencies like ILO. All of them are tasked with delivering on special mandates. What students like you emulate in the Model United Nations conferences, across your committees and debates, are sessions similar to the United Nations General Assembly or International Labour Conference, which is the ILO version of the UNGA. Collaborating on the global stage is one aspect of the United Nations. Another aspect is how we work on the ground in different countries. For the ILO, our strength is the tripartite structure that brings together the representatives from the workers, employers, and government to negotiate the working conditions, or the various international labor standards that ensures safe and productive employment for all women and men. The United Nations support the national governments in the areas of maintaining international peace and security, protecting human rights, delivering humanitarian aid, supporting sustainable development and climate action, and upholding international laws. As you have all gathered for this conference and debated passionately over issues of international relevance to find solutions for challenges that confront us, you must take the same zeal into your further education. Look at the challenges in society from the global perspective and ask what you can do to move the needle forward. Pursue disciplines that interest and excite you, and ask how you can contribute to improving society at large. Become agent of the change in your communities, because that is what the United Nations represents as you put into practice the mission of no one left behind. I congratulate you all once again on your successful conference, the skills you have developed through it, the memories you have made, and the awards you have won. These are just the first step in the long road of success that awaits you in the future. So thank you once again, and congratulations for you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful words. We are truly inspired by your thoughts. Now, let us take a moment to soak into the atmosphere. The stage is adorned with festivities, and the air is definitely filled with anticipation. The excitement is palpable as we move on to a spectacular dance presentation. So let us now immerse ourselves completely into the soulful music and let our spirits soar with the enthralling dance. Please give a huge round of applause.
चुन चुन खाइयो मास जिया रे खाइयो ना तो amore, cagliona con l'amore, via che me l'anguias. Cagliona con l'amore, cagliona con l'amore, via che me l'anguias. Oh nada. Oh nada, parinde carriada. Carriada, carriada, carriada.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move. Hear my heart race again. Let this. Hold your breath.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't you fight it till you try to do that conga beat. Everybody, gather round now. Let your body feel the heat. Don't you worry if you can't dance. Let the music move your feet. It's the rhythm of the island, and that sugar cane so sweet. If you want to do the conga, you got to listen to the beat.
I said you wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something. I said you wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something. But you're hard to get over. But you love to get under. You're stuck in the middle. The brain is still I took my baby to the doctor with a fever, but nothing he found. By the time it's in the street, they said she had a breakdown. Someone's always trying to start my baby crying. Talk is feeling lying, saying you just want to be starting something.
Shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't you fight it till you try to do that conga beat.
That was truly captivating. Let's give another round of applause for such a beautiful performance. I'm sure we all enjoyed it.
Let us now give a huge round of applause as our guest of honor, Mr. Ranjan Chatterjee, joins us on stage. He is appointed to the National Green Tribunal as an expert member, a seasoned IAS officer from the Assam Meghalaya cadre with over 3 decades of service in various government roles. He has served as Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Civil Aviation and the Chief Secretary of Meghalaya, along with working as a consultant at the Planning Commission. Thank you, sir, for gracing this event with your benevolent presence today. We would request you to share your words of wisdom with us. Can we have a huge round of applause?
Respected Principal, Madam Divjot Kaur, the chief guest of today's function, Mr. Sasaki, all the office bearers of this function of the MUN, and dear students. It gives me great pleasure to be in your midst, and I tend to drastically reduce my age to keep myself at par with your level. In the first place, I was very impressed with the school infrastructure and the beautiful programs that you have devised yourselves. These are all mind games and which will enable you to face the challenges of the future. I think the most important lesson is also held in the MUN game, the issues that you are pursuing in terms of gender equality, in terms of putting your hands together to fight the drug abuse, and strengthening of United Nations. We are all aware that unfortunately, despite best efforts by the Committee of Nations, United Nations is a very sad replica of what it used to be at one point of time. After the First World War, we had the League of Nations, and the lessons that we learned were written on the wall, because of which we were pushed to the Second World War. And after the Bretton Woods Conference, we embarked with the United Nations, the ILO, the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Environment Chapter, and everything. But unfortunately, the world is being pushed to the brink of another war. It is just a battle of nerves. And if we can hold our own and sane advice, perhaps the world would be prevented from another catastrophe. Otherwise, the cost of human lives is at the barest minimum. If you open the newspapers, whether it is in Ukraine or whether it is in Gaza, wherever it is, it's a sad spectacle of human beings, women and children bearing the brunt of it. So also in the case of drugs, the cartels are so strong that the most powerful people tend to get away with it, and the relatively gullible, simple people get caught in the web of it. There are any number of movies and stories on this subject. But suffice it to say on today's afternoon that I am very encouraged after seeing the performance in the school and the young ladies performing on the stage, that we have reached a new height of gender equality, and we have driven into them the ideals of how to take the society forward. I have been in the government for a long time, and unfortunately, there also the ideals of service to society, service to mankind, has taken a back seat. And what is happening is people are taking it up more for the sake of employment and a job. There is a lot of difference in the job that you do and the service that you render. There are so many IIT students who have been in the forefront of education, come forward with brilliant results, but have taken to courses which have suited their minds, and many of them have been investment bankers and have done well initially, but it wasn't the actual recipe for their soul. So they switched on to the second profession which they happened to like the most and pursued it vigorously. So I stand here to wish all the students the very best in terms of what you wish to do, how you would like to take the country forward, and as part of the global community, how you would like to give a helping hand, a cooperative hand to the world community. Everything in our context also begins at the panchayat level, at the smallest level. And you know, when you talk of gender equality, many of you traveling in the North Indian states would have come across cars where even in the seats reserved for the women candidates, you know, it would be written Panchayat Pradhan ke Pati. You know, that means in real terms, the power has not been given to the gender people. But these things are also changing, and I'm sure we need to expedite it. If we don't change it fast enough, we will not be able to save the country. I do not wish to take more of your time today because you have all come here at the end of this wonderful function. So much of effort has gone into its practice. I congratulate each one of you, the students, and I wish that all the other students who have not participated today will for sure get an opportunity to participate next year. With these few words, I thank the students, the members who have invited me to speak over here, and the Honorable Principal. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
And now, what you've all been waiting for, the much anticipated prize distribution ceremony. We will be recognizing the efforts and achievements of the delegates who went above and beyond during this MUN.
To begin, let me call on stage Kabir Bindra, Secretary General MRResilience 2024, to kindly come over and say a few words. Okay, sorry. I shall now request Arif Bansal, Deputy Secretary General MRResilience, to kindly come over and say a few words.
Hello. Thank you, Dhriti and Sarah, for managing the event till now. You've done a great job. Good evening, everyone. I am Arif Bansal, the head boy of Rachna International School, Charmwood, and I'm also serving as the Deputy Director General for MRResilience 2024, and I'll be your anchor for the rest of this event. Before moving on to the most awaited segment of our closing, before moving on to the moment that has got our hearts beating faster and our legs shaking, before moving on to the prize distribution ceremony, I'd like to take a minute of your time to talk about what this movement symbolizes. I'll quote a few lines in Urdu, dhyan se sunna, and I'll translate it for you, Sasaki-san. सबको मिल जाएगी मंजिल, ये ज़रूरी तो नहीं। ज़िंदगी राह सफ़र है, तो यूं ही चलते रहना। ज़िंदगी राह सफ़र है, तो यूं ही चलते रहना। तुम चिरागों की तरह राह में जलते रहना, हर अंधेरे को उजालों में बदलते रहना। What I mean is, it is neither necessary nor important for everybody to get an award today. Life is a long journey with many pathways and adventures and stories and chapters. And all we have to do is to just keep going, taking our losses with lessons and using our learnings to do better in the future. Lighting up the rooms we walk into and the lives we touch. Dreaming of a better future and then doing our best at making it a reality, contributing in our own unique ways. And on that note, I want to express my gratitude first to the people who made this MUN possible. I want to express my gratitude to my Resilience family. First, our respected Principal Ma'am and Vice Principal Ma'am, Ms. Divjot Kaur and Ms. Smita Ugle, for providing us with all the resources, advice, and inputs humanly possible. Secondly, I owe a huge thank you to Varsha ma'am, Abha ma'am, and Jaita ma'am. They worked day and night along with the OC, and they acted as solid pillars for this MUN. Ma'am, this would not have been possible without you. Thirdly, I owe a huge thank you to Tanu ma'am and Surya ma'am for our amazing opening and closing ceremonies. And an honorable mention to my subject teachers, Mr. Vish Chauhan, Chandna Kapoor ma'am, Vishal Nagpal sir, and Shweta Mago ma'am for letting me miss lessons for this MUN. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to everybody who worked in the shadows making this event successful. The helpers, the art team members, the dance and music team members, the CS members, and all the other teachers working in the shadows I was not able to name. You all have played a huge role. All right, so moving on, I'd like to call on stage somebody who's been a second mother to me ever since I've joined this school, Ms. Divjot Kaur, our principal ma'am. Along with somebody who I consider a brother and also an integral part of this MUN, our Secretary General, Kabir Bindra. I'd also like to call on stage our chief guest, Mr. Ranjan Chatterjee and Satoshi Sasaki. All right. I'd also like to call on stage our Vice Principal Ma'am, Ms. Smita Ugle, now that she's here.
Good evening, everyone. I would also like to welcome our Managing Director, Mr. Rajiv Kapoor, who has just joined us. So please come on the stage. So please come.
So before moving forward, let's have a little competition between the OC members and the delegates. I'll ask a question, and whoever answers best between the OC members and the delegates gets a lollipop from my side. So, my question to the OC members right now. How's the Josh? How's the Josh? They did a good job. All right, so I'll be honoring the organizing committee first. They've been the ones burning the midnight oil, sacrificing their own personal commitments to make this event a reality, showing passion and resilience throughout their undertakings. And I have with me Kavya, HOD Internal Affairs, to help me announce the awards. All right, they are the creative masterminds behind our MUN's Instagram page, taking our reach to heights and introducing the PR department, Head of PR, Manan Sajjan, and USG PR, Harman Kaur. I want everybody to guess this department. Paise nahi hai is their favorite dialogue. Any guesses? Calling on stage the finance department, HOD Finance, Ritvik Chopra, USG Finance, Arpit Mishra.
The backbone of any MUN, the ones forced to be extroverts, even if they were introverts. Calling our Delegate Affairs Department, HOD of Delegate Affairs, Ashish Kaul, and USG of Delegates Affairs, Shanavi Pandey and Artham Ranjan. Making the MUN safer and fun, always helping around with their muscular bodies, calling social sense security. Head of Social Sense Security, Ranveer Singh, USG of Social Sense Security, Bhavya Gupta.
Hello.
All right, we finally have a working mic. They're the ones responsible for keeping everything in check, the ones who kept this MUN in order, calling on stage the conference staff department, head of conference staff, Rhythm Singh, USG conference staff, Kirti Kamra.
They're the ones responsible for keeping the EB panel in order, calling the EB Affairs Department, HOD of EB Affairs, Yuvraj Chibba, and USG of EB Affairs, Naisha Bhaita.
Hamare perfect hawk-eyed negotiators, the one who ensured best of the quality, calling on stage the logistics department. Head of logistics, Shlok Khanna, USG logistics, Piyush Ghera and Paras Jain. I am sure all of us enjoyed the decorations in our committees and the flags that were all around our corridors. Calling the department that is responsible for all our creativity and beautification on stage, Internal Affairs. HOD Internal Affairs, Kavya Kuhad. USG Internal Affairs, Pranay Bhalla, Daksh Sharma and Samrat Rana. The ones responsible for our dazzling dance performance, calling on stage the cultural department. HOD Cultural Department, Manya Gambhir, USG Cultural Department, Vanshika Dhawan. Last but not the least, the always enthusiastic, flexible and getting the job done and dusted within a moment's notice, calling upon the operations department. HOD operations, Cheshta Kapoor, USG operations, Meher Saxena and Akshara Kedia. Their advice and insights always helped us pull through crises, and they were also present as executive board members, calling us on stage our chief advisors. Shreyas Arora, our previous Secretary General, Rohan Pillai, the previous head boy, Louis Paikre, our previous Director General, and Fanish Singh, our previous Charge d'Affaires.
Now, for our very own Chota Packet Bada Dhamaka, also our perfectionist, calling on stage the Charge d'Affaires Nishtha Verma. the dad of our OC and the brains of our flagship committee. Not to forget, the one we run to for advice. Here comes the Deputy Director General, Arif Bansal. Thodi khatti, thodi meethi, but most of the times, the one we run to for getting permission for the craziest things you can imagine. Our Director General, Angel McCall. Our one-man army, the one who gets the work done, and yes, Hamara dancer. Let's call upon the perfect auctioneer, Deputy Secretary General Naitik Bansal. Dil tham ke baithiye, because here comes the protector of our OC, working tirelessly when our OC was tired. The man, the myth, the legend himself, our very own Secretary General Kabir Bindra.
Brace yourselves, delegates, because now is the time for your awards to be announced. I asked our OC a question and they delivered flawlessly. And now I'll ask the same question to the delegates and you better win. Delegates, how's the Josh? How's the Josh? बहुत जोश है यार. All right. I'll start with our creative committees. I'll call on stage the winners of the IP committees first. Starting with our photographers, I'd like to call on stage High Commendation Jasmeet, calling on stage our best photographer, Tisha Raghav. Meanwhile, I'll announce the verbal mention. Yanvi, you are requested to stand at your spot. High commendation to Anya Tyagi. Now, Calling on stage the executive board members of IP. We have the head of journalism, Priyambada Sharma, head of caricature, Dhruv Malik, and we have the head of photography, Yuvamshi. Calling on stage, High Commendation to a Photography, Anya Tyagi. All right, there's been a change in the plans. The EBs will be announcing your awards. I'd like to call on stage Head of Journalism,
Good evening, everyone. I would just like to thank Naitik and Angel for organizing such an amazing conference. Now moving on to the awards. The verbal mentions, honorable mentions and special mentions should stand up at their places. The verbal mention goes to Arnav Kalra. The honorable mention goes to Navya Mittal. And the special mention goes to Srishti. Now moving on, the high commendation goes to Dhriti Low. And the best journalist goes to Rajveer Dhal.
calling on stage Head of Caricature, Dhruv Malik.
I would like to thank the entire management for inviting me, and it has truly been a great experience. The delegates were passionate enough from the first task itself. Now I'll quickly move towards the awards because you have all been waiting for that. So honorable mentions and special mentions are requested to stand on their seats. Honorable mention goes to Samaira Agarwal. Can we have a huge round of applause for her, please? Special mention goes for Priyanshi Saxena. And now we are moving towards high commendation, which goes to Janina Jom. And the best caricature goes to, any guesses, anyone? The best caricaturist goes to Vikrant Bhalla. Thank you very much. It has truly been a great experience. Thank you for inviting me, the entire management of MRIS. Thank you.
we go into the detailed awards for different committees, I would like to announce an award for MRResilience School Charmwood, and who better than our managing director to receive the third position in Faridabad for MRResilience Charmwood today from Education World India School Ranking.
Very well done.
Calling on stage the co-chairs of Marvel Multiverse, Vishesh Kumar and Louis Paikre. This committee is the next crop of our MUN batch. They have the youngest delegates. I'd like you to announce your awards.
Good evening, delegates. I am Louis Paikre and I'm Vishesh Kumar, and we both served as the co-chairpersons for this fictional yet crisis committee, Marvel vs. DC. I'd not like to make you guys wait any further. We'll be starting with the awards. I'll be announcing the special mentions, then Louis sir will be announcing with high recommendations, and I'll come back for the best delegate. Special mentions to stand at their respective places. Special mentions are in a particular order. Special mention 2 in our committee goes to the Wonder Woman.
लेकिन प्यार क्या होता है? मैंने कभी जाना ही नहीं.
And special mention 1 goes to Ant-Man. Alright, delegates. So high commendation 2 goes to Dr. Doom. High commendation 1 goes to the Iron Man. All right. The best delegate of the committee. Any guesses? The guesses are right. The best delegate goes to Kang the Conqueror. Thank you so much to the whole organizing committee. Thank you so much, Natik, Angel, for inviting us, and have a great day ahead.
The best Dell of Marvel Multiverse has won a cash prize of 5,000 INR. I'd like to call on stage now the chairs of a committee with non-stop action and economics involved. I'd like to call on stage the chairs of IPL. Head auctioneer Ashish Kaul and vice auctioneer Divyanshu Sharma.
Hello everyone. So the IPL committee was, very amazing. We had crazy bits going on. We then had debate about also the team. Now going straight away to the awards, I will be announcing the special mentions, and Divyanshu sir will be announcing the High Command Best Delegate. So the special mention 2 goes to Himachal Hurricanes. They may stand at their places. Special mention 1 goes to Sunrisers Hyderabad. Thank you. Sir.
Good evening, everyone. The HighCom award goes to LSG, Lucknow Super Giants. The best delegate was by far the best team of the entire 2 days. It's none other than Kolkata Knight Riders.
Although the best team is Haryana Pookies.
Since they have to leave. Now, calling on stage the committee with the guardians of our nation, I'd request the chairperson of NSC to approach the stage.
क्योंकि ICICI बैंक कार्ड्स पे है हजारों डील मतलब नॉन स्टॉप शॉपिंग ऑफ कोर्स तू कपड़े नहीं पूरा मॉल खरीद ले और तू काके फोन और लैपटॉप लेके
We have with us Abhinav Datta. Inviting Vice Chair NSC Madhav Sadana and the Rapporteur Ikshit Sethi.
Greetings everyone. Firstly, congratulations to the whole secretariat and the organizing team of MRResilience Model United Nations for organizing such a great conference. Can we have a huge round of applause for everyone who has made this conference a success? It's great to come here for the third consecutive time, and MRResilience has been an integral part throughout my MUN journey. Straight away coming to the awards, we have one best delegate and 2 high commendations. Rest awards were announced in the committee. So the high commendations in no particular order goes to Rajendra Khanna. Be quick, come up on the stage. And the Defense Minister of India, Rajnath Singh. Talking about the best representative for the National Security Council and MRResilience Model United Nations 24 goes to Kiran Rijiju. Congratulations to all the winners. Before going, I just want to make few thankful remarks to 2 of the very hard-working students out there, Angel McCall, one of my greatest friends, and the Secretary General, the Deputy Secretary General, Natik Bansal, who have been my brothers since day one. 2 special people out there, Shreyas and Louis, thank you for having my back every time, and congratulations to all the winners. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to a committee with drama, and more drama. I'd like to call on stage the Executive Board panel of AIPPM. I have with me Moderator Arjun Katyal, Deputy Moderator Rohan Pillai, and Scribes Akshat Sharma and Sayyam Gupta.
आप सबको मेरा बहुत बहुत नमस्कार। मैं यहाँ पर मॉडरेटर की भूमिका में था। सबसे पहले एक छोटा सा धन्यवाद इस सेक्रेटेरिएट को जिसने मेरे को यहाँ पर बुलाया, और उससे बहुत 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 बड़ा धन्यवाद उन सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को जिन्होंने, अगर मैं हार गया हूँ तो मुझे हारने नहीं दिया और उस जज्बे को कायम रखा है। जो जीते हैं और जो सीखे हैं, उन दोनों के लिए ये है कि मंजिल से आगे बढ़कर मंजिल तलाश कर, मिल जाए जो जरिया तो समंदर तलाश कर। हमारी रास्ते शायद वहाँ पर पहुँच ना पाए, पर हमारी यात्रा रुकनी नहीं चाहिए। I would extend my thanksgiving to my co-panelists, and I would also give them the chance of announcing these awards. Rohan, please.
Thank you, sir. MRResilience MUN is like a ghar wapsi for me. Having studied in this very building for 7 years and having been one of the 4 founders of the very first edition of MRResilience, I feel proud standing here as a chief advisor and the deputy moderator for AIPPM. I won't take up much of your time. I'll just say, for all those who think MRResilience is a mere conference, you're wrong. MRResilience is a vision. It is a mission to engage, enhance, and empower. Before we move ahead, let us keep that in mind. So moving on with the verbal mentions for the committee. These are in order. The verbal mentions for the committee, I would request you all to kindly please stand up. And after the verbal mentions have been announced, you can take your seats. The verbal mentions go to Derek O'Brien, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Sachin Pilot, and Mallikarjun Kharge. Moving on, the special mentions for the committee, I request the special mentions to also just stand at their place, and once all of the specmens have been announced, you may take your seats. The special mentions for the committee. Special mention 3 goes to Naveen Patnaik. Special mention 2 goes to Dharmendra Pradhan. And special mention 1, Amit Shah. Now I'd like to call upon our fellow panelists, Sayyam and Akshat, to present the high commendations and the best representative.
So members, without wasting much of your time, I would announce the name of the high commendations. So, high commendation 2 is won by Arvind Kejriwal. High commendation 1 is won by Jairam Ramesh.
Any guesses for the best delegate? Some more? Akhilesh Yadav.
The students who have ordered for the coffee table book and whose individual photographs have not been taken, please go to the reception at once because the photographer will leave in next 15 minutes. Please make it sure that your individual photographs are clicked.
Moving on to our United Nations committees, I'd like to start us off with the UNSC. Calling on stage Chairperson Shreyas Arora and Vice Chairperson Abhiniti Mitra.
I would like to thank this institution, Natik, Angel, Shreyas, Louis, and Fanish. We've already given the spec mens and the verbal mentions in the committee itself. we have one high commendation, and that goes to the delegate of USA. The delegate of USA. Can we have a huge round of applause, please? Thank you.
Hello, delegates. Hello, OC members. I feel absolutely overwhelmed standing here exactly 1 year after I gave my speech as the Secretary General of this Model United Nations. As Rohan said, it is indeed a ghar wapsi, and I hope to come here the next year as well. I would like to thank a bunch of people. I would like to thank Naitik and Angel, who have been the backbone of this MUN, and we couldn't possibly be here without them, and Kabir for being the perfect successor. Also, last but not the least, I would like to thank Varsha ma'am. I think she deserves the biggest round of applause. Thank you, Varsha ma'am, for always being there. Also, I would like to thank Beyonce. I do not want to die. All right, without further ado, the best delegate of the United Nations Security Council in the MUN is won by the delegate of Australia.
Moving on to our next UN committee, I would like to request upon stage the chairpersons of UNCSW. I have with me Rapporteur Arav Sharma.
Okay, so I'll fatafat se announce specmens in a particular order. 1 second. Yes, specman 1 goes to the delegate of Switzerland. Kindly stand up at your place. Switzerland. Specman 2 goes to the delegate of Russia. And specman 3 goes to the delegate of USA. Yes, now moving on to high commendations. High Com 1 goes to the delegate of Israel. Congratulations. And High Com 2 goes to the delegate of Spain. Now, moving on to best delegate. Any guesses? The best delegate goes to China. And our vice chair requested a special mention for delegate of Congo. She really wanted you to be there, but next time she'll give you personal feedback. Good try.
Since we are short on time, we have to move really fast. Calling on stage our third UN committee, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. I want to welcome on stage Chairperson Adisri Telem, and Rapporteur Bimuda Agarwal.
Okay, I'll directly announce the awards. So for the special mention and honorable mention, I request you all to stand up wherever you are sitting so that we acknowledge your efforts. For honorable mention, in no particular order, we have Egypt and Saudi Arabia. For special mention, in no particular order again, Norway, Sweden, and UK. For high commendation, in particular order, we have USA and Russia. And the best delegate goes to Japan.
I'd like to mention that the best delegates of every committee have won a cash prize of 5,000 INR. All right, quickly moving on. I'd like to call on stage our fourth UN committee, UNHRC. Welcoming on stage the chairperson Shirish Tripathi, vice chairperson Harnoor Juneja, and rapporteur Manan Singhal.
Good evening, everyone. So I'd just like to thank the complete secretariat for having us over here, and a special mention to my two co-executive board members, Harnoor and Manan, for accompanying all the tasks that I had to do in the committee. Further, I'd directly like to hand over the mic to them for announcing the awards. Thank you.
I'll keep it short and get to it. The high coms go to Cambodia and Israel.
The best delegate for United Nations Human Rights Council goes to the delegate of Morocco.
Delegates who've received their awards are free to leave for Haiti, and delegates for 6 to 8 can disperse either to ICT or to their home.
Children, you can go if you want to have high tea. The committees who have done can go for high tea. We understand your parents are waiting outside. There's a huge crowd outside for the parents. You can just quickly grab your high tea and leave. For the children who are waiting for socials, you're most welcome to stay back.
Moving on to our last UN committee, United Nations General Assembly, calling on stage Rapporteur Noria Arora, Vice Chairperson Uday Shiran, and our Chair Bhavyam Arora.
Guys, wherever you guys are, just please listen to me for a minute. I'll hardly take you a minute, okay? Now, since it's the last committee, I think I would like to appreciate a few people out there, right from the organizing committee, and I would also like to appreciate those guards who are standing right there at the door and the door outside as well, who have helped us over the period of time, okay? Now, coming upon directly to the awards, I'll announce the best delegate, followed by special mentions, and high coms will be announced by my co-executive board members, okay? Please, guys, announce the awards.
So first, I would like to announce the verbal mentions in no particular order. First, Saudi Arabia. Can we have a huge round of applause? Second is Kuwait. And third is Azerbaijan. Followed by the special mentions in no specific order. United Kingdoms. And Brazil. I would pass the mic to the Vice Chairperson.
The high commendation in no particular order goes to Belgium and Jordan.
Guys, the best delegate for me technically is actually the deserving person in this case, okay? I was in constant fight with this delegate from the day one itself. He challenged me at every single situation, and I think when it comes to that, he was very logical as well. Post which, when it comes to substantiating his content, amazing job done. Any guesses for the best delegate? It would break his heart if I don't give it to him this time. China, please come on the stage. Thank you.
Now, finally, calling on stage the chair of our flagship committee, a chair who made a committee so intricate and interesting it would leave a Netflix game show baffled. Calling on stage हमारे प्यारे डॉक्टर साहब, डॉक्टर शिखर त्रिपाठी. Before the awards are announced, I'd like to mention the best deal of this committee gets a cash prize of 10,000 INR.
Good evening, delegates. I hope I can have your attention for a couple of minutes wherever you're standing. Just stop there. It's the flagship committee. It also puts an end to months of efforts at the end of the secretariat. So I hope we can stay for 2 more minutes. Thank you. I would like to begin by congratulating the host school, not for hosting a successful conference, but for discovering, but for proving that you have such able and wonderful students. I want to mention 4 of your students, 2 of whom I met for the first time over these 2 days, and 2 whom I knew. I would like to thank Yuvraj and Nishtha. I met both of them yesterday, and they have helped me immensely with my proceedings of the committee. So thank you, Yuvraj and Nishtha. And 2 people whom I knew from last year, technically because of whom I'm chairing today here, else I wouldn't have come. I want to congratulate and thank your Sekjan, Kabir, and a very special thanks to your head boy and Deputy Director General, Arif. I don't think I would be chairing here had it not been for this persuasive boy. Philip Stanhope said what's worth doing is worth doing well. And my committee's delegates, without any inch of doubt, performed well enough to make their efforts worthwhile. The verbal mentions, in no particular order, goes to Karnika, Yashwardhan, Sukumar, Harshwardhan, and Manorath. The special mention goes to, and you need to come up on the stage and collect your certificates as well, the special mention awards. The special mention goes to Amartya, Arunodaya, and Ravi. The High Com goes to Vatsal. And the Best Delegate Award goes to the Keeper of Sociology. To be honest, the only delegate who actually understood and maintained the integrity of their role and the domain. The Keeper of Sociology, Sarthak. Delegates, this is an announcement. All those who will be attending the socials, kindly report back to the courtyard right now. I repeat, all those who will be attending the socials, kindly report back to the courtyard right now. For the final closing of the ceremony,
announcing the best school del. Any guesses? DPS 19. Thank you for being such a great audience. Thank you EB members for your contribution. Thank you Divjot ma'am. Thank you to all the other teachers. Now lastly, as the closing act, I would like to call on stage the Secretary General Kabir Bindra for facilitating the closing ceremony.